Hey folks, down in my basement in the training station, and wanted to take a quick minute to talk about nutrition. I was just at an event in Georgia, homegrown gravel, and a few riders on the shakeout ride were asking me about my on-bike nutrition. So I'm going to explain to you right now why I use UnTapped maple. Here's my nutrition table right next to my indoor setup so I can get out easy. So let's talk about it. As you all know, carbohydrates in endurance sports have become the king. I am oftentimes eating more carbohydrates now in a single hour of a gravel race than I was eating in a world tour one-day race or stage race. It's pretty crazy. Some of the longer races like Unbound, trying to get up to 150 grams of carbohydrates per hour, which is a big reason why I am fueling with UnTapped maple. Let's talk about it. So when you think about the pure number of carbohydrates that athletes are eating now, I start to think about the ingredients that I'm consuming. There is no other food that I am consuming in such quantities as I am carbohydrates on the bike. Of course, I eat a lot of oats off the bike, or rice, or pasta, or chicken, or steak, or salad, whatever it may be. But there is no single item that I am consuming in such high quantities. That is why I'm using UnTapped maple. I just quickly went online and looked at some ingredients of some of the other nutrition brands out there. Of course, carbohydrates are also cheap in many cases. I'm looking at a lot of maltodextrin. Some of it's from corn. Some of it can be really undefined. You don't really know where that maltodextrin is coming from. A lot of other gels have thickeners. I'm seeing Exen gum, potassium sorbate, sodium chloride, preservatives, flavorings, acid, all sorts of weird names. So let's talk about UnTapped. My favorite gel is the pure Vermont UnTapped maple gel. The one ingredient in this, maple syrup. That's it. No other ingredients are in this gel. I've got a couple other gels here that have some different flavors, different spices. But again, when you read the back, all ingredients you would know. Maple syrup. This is the second favorite gel, salted cinnamon spice. Maple syrup, cinnamon, sea salt, cloves, cardamom. That's it. Now, the caffeine gel. You think maybe caffeine, maybe we need some other funky ingredients in there? No. Maple syrup, organic coffee. That's it. So when you start to think about the quantities of these carbohydrates that we're consuming, start to think about what we're putting into our bodies. I guess I have this rationalization of, would I feed my kids this? Would I give my kids a high carbohydrate gel from one of the numerous manufacturers out there? I could never see a situation in which I would ever give my kid a gel. However, we have pancakes or waffles or oats, overnight oats, pretty regularly, and I give my kids maple syrup all the time. So as we consider our health, our long-term health, let's think about what we're putting into our bodies. And where does all that maple syrup come from? It comes from right here in Vermont. We tapped our trees the other day. It's not quite warm enough, so it's not running. But how maple syrup is made in the springtime for a handful of weeks, usually between 4 and 6 weeks, sap runs up these maple trees. You put a hole into the tree, put a tap into the tree, and sap, oh, there we go, it's flowing. Sap drips out 1 drop at a time. That sap has anywhere between a 2 and 4% sugar content. That sap is then boiled off and made into maple syrup. This tree has been here, this is a big tree, 200 years. So when you think about science versus nature, who wins out? Hard to say. And while UnTapped is not using my sap to make UnTapped maple gels and Maple-Aid drink mix, there is a producer here in Vermont whose kids go to my daughter's school who provides maple syrup to UnTapped, which goes into my gels, which is pretty cool to think about. As I travel around the world racing my bike, I get to bring a little piece of Peacham, Vermont with me. And as someone who's been using UnTapped for a couple years now, and someone who really does believe in the power of these magnificent trees, be sure to give it a try because it is delicious. There is no flavor fatigue when you're eating something that is produced by the beautiful soil and environment we have here in Vermont. So give it a try and let me know what you think.